Hey Zingers, it's Dan Leach, and I have a wonderful guest for you today. It's the CEO of Iteris, Joe Bajera. So great to be with you today, Joe.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, let's get right into it. Can you give us an overview of Iteris?
Yeah, sure. The company is a leading ecosystem for smart mobility infrastructure management. And what that means is we provide agencies with software, sensors, and other services that help them manage transportation infrastructure. We also collect a lot of data as a result of the devices and software that are being deployed in these public agencies. And then we turn around and we extract data from those sensors and various software applications which are connected to our cloud, and we're able to monetize that data by providing that to various commercial entities, which include automotive OEMs, insurance companies, fleet operators, and various commercial entities whose business models depend on understanding the operations of the transportation infrastructure.
Sure, obviously lots of possibilities and things to be successful with. And if you could, I wanted you to walk us through what exactly your ClearMobility platform is and what it does.
Yeah, sure. So it's a modular and open API-based platform. It includes a data layer, and that data layer ingests mobility data from mobile phones and other connected devices, as well as third-party fixed devices. Those are devices that are deployed in the infrastructure by third parties. But we also ingest mobility data from our own AI-powered sensors, as I just mentioned. And just as a frame of reference, those sensors are deployed literally, across the country, like tens of thousands of intersections and thousands of road miles. Agencies purchase those sensors, but then once they're deployed, they're connected to our cloud. And so the agencies have access to the data that's being collected by sensors, but we have access to that as well. We also have various kind of edge applications which are deployed in the infrastructure. For example, we operate transit signal prioritization systems for various agencies, and that becomes another source of data for Iteris. Anyway, all of these third-party and then these sort of proprietary data sources that we have yield multiple petabytes of data, and it results in a highly unique, very valuable data set. Once we have that in our data lake, we then run various services against that data. And those services include like a service to enhance and normalize the data, to map the data to geospatial models. We contextualize the data both historically and real time to yield various insights. And then we also manage security and authentication of all that data and then the various software applications that present that data. So as I mentioned previously, we then provide that data on a subscription basis to transportation agencies and also to various commercial entities. And we also publish that data to our own portfolio of software as a service, platform as a service, and managed services solutions, which we offer both to commercial entities and to public agencies. Now, I do want to say that because the platform is designed to be modular, we allow our customers to subscribe to or purchase single modules, but we've obviously designed the platform so that the more modules that our customers consume, the more value they realize as well. And as you would expect, all of our various modules are seamlessly interoperable, have a common look and feel, and increasingly we have customers consuming multiple components of our platform.
It's really fascinating stuff. And Joe, as you well know, we're living in pretty incredible times. And I wanted to ask you, how do you feel as smart mobility changed in the last few years with obviously the advent of AI and advancements in autonomous vehicle technology?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I just want to say as like context that the market for transportation infrastructure management solutions has been highly fragmented and littered with literally thousands of different point solution providers until really just recently, maybe the last 3 years, perhaps 5 years ago. What we saw at that point is the introduction of different technologies, a lot of things which are ultimately cloud enabled, are really changing the basic structure of the marketplace. You mentioned autonomous vehicles, but also the adoption of electric vehicles, connected vehicles, and then just generally a migration to the cloud is causing a lot of agencies to migrate their technology stack, to cloud infrastructure in order to support, these advanced vehicles and just to realize internal operating efficiencies. As a result, we're seeing a lot of innovation in the marketplace and also a lot of disruption. The typical delivery models and sort of the incumbent solution providers, or they either have to change their model, or we're starting to see them being replaced by new entrants in the marketplace. To your question about AI, I'd say that it's only accelerating stuff that we started to see begin to occur 3 to 5 years ago. And at this time, we believe that the industry is poised to really cross the chasm, and we expect that to result in, what I'd describe as sort of this pervasiveness of connected mobility infrastructure over the next 5 to 10 years. And by that, I mean that we would expect that vehicles, commercial vehicles, as well as passenger vehicles and smart devices, are going to be able to communicate with the technologies which are deployed in the physical road infrastructure, which would give people insight regarding both the congestion, but also the risk of potential accidents, and they'll receive recommendations in order to mitigate potentially risky situations. So this should yield a much safer, more efficient, and a much more sustainable mobility infrastructure model over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yep, as I love to say, what a time to be alive. Can you tell us about the merger with Almaviva, and what will that do for Iteris?
Yeah, so Iteris was recently acquired by Almaviva. Almaviva is a leading digital innovation company. They're based in Italy, but they operate around the world. The company has a significant presence in the transportation sector, as well as other vertical markets, but transportation is a major sector for them. Almaviva, in particular, has a really strong presence in Europe and then also Latin America. And so by combining forces with Iteris, we're going to be able to sell our solutions into various international markets where Almaviva operates, and we've not really been able to reach in the past. We've really focused almost exclusively in the North American market, although we have sold some of our technologies internationally, really on an opportunistic basis. Conversely, Almaviva doesn't have much presence in North America, and so Almaviva is going to be able to use Iteris as a launch pad in order to sell their various solutions into the North American market. And in particular, I think they're going to be focused on distributing their multimodal mobility solutions, which address transit and local rail, commuter rail, for example, as well as an advanced traffic management system, which they've deployed in various large metropolitan areas across Europe. And we think that will definitely have strong application in the North American market.
For sure. And speaking of the North American market, obviously, just had an administration change. Joe, do you foresee any changes in the regulatory picture for smart mobility under the incoming administration?
Yes, we did just have a change in the presidential administration. And for sure, I think that it is going to result in some there will be some implications for our market. But all that being said, we do expect that the market for mobility infrastructure management solutions remain really favorable for the foreseeable future. There are a lot of favorable secular trends, which we talked about earlier. And our expectation is that the Trump administration is going to maintain aggregate investment at the same level or maybe even higher than the Biden administration. In the former Trump administration, as I think everybody will recall, there was really strong interest in making significant investments in transportation infrastructure. And I believe that continues to be the case today. All that being said, even though the total aggregate spending level will probably remain the same or even go up, we do think that the investment mix could change somewhat with the Trump administration possibly redirecting funds that, for example, were previously earmarked for electric vehicle initiatives to other priorities. At this time, would also expect the Trump administration to take steps to accelerate the adoption of autonomous vehicles, which was not a priority for the Biden administration. So anyway, on balance, we think that the overall market conditions remain really, really favorable. There will be some changes sort of in terms of the contours with the new Trump administration.
I love it. Joe Bergera, the CEO of Iteris. That was an absolutely fascinating conversation. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you.